It was like seeing like the space shuttle take off. They're like, wait a second. They went to Fernando, and then they went to the Raider draft party with the cannons and the confetti and all that. Everybody in Pittsburgh's like, no, I thought we were the party. What's happening, everybody? Just sending out the pre-show tweet.
It's the premier rivalry in the Western Conference. The Vegas Nighthawks in the air.
The morning tailgate, weekdays 7 to 10. Raider Nation Radio 920 AM. KRLV Las Vegas. It's the JT the Brick Show.
This is the silver and black. This is the Raiders. This is a historic franchise. This is no ordinary job.
Your silver and black home to sound off for over 25 years.
I don't care if I offend somebody. If it isn't right, I'm going to stop practice. We're going to do it the right way.
And now, here's JT the Brick.
Out of the gate, JT. I'm sending out the pre-show tweet. But I'm ready to roll. It's a Modelo Friday with Clay Baker. Modelo. I reward myself with a bucket of Modelos every Friday. Modelo, proud partner of this show. I dreamed of having a radio show where I'd have a beer partner, and I hit the ultimate in sports radio. I haven't written a story about that about me nationally. We got a beer partner that's legit. It's named Modelo, and I'm excited to be here. Happy Raiders Minicamp Day. Hope everybody's doing well. And Fernando Mendoza, did you see the video? Oh, boy, the video of him coming out of the locker room, out of the weight room in the 15 jersey, the tribute to Tom Flores as he wears the jersey now, and the era has begun. The era has begun with Fernando Mendoza today, even though last Thursday, he was drafted number 1 overall. He came here on Friday. We had the big party to welcome him. And today, he's out on the field throwing footballs. It starts today. So I think we should welcome him again to Raider Nation. And you should be in our YouTube feed. I get pretty weird when I don't see enough people in because the show started. Last 2 months, I've just been reminding people. I know I'm getting cranky. The show starts on time. I need everybody on time. If you're late, you're late. You catch the show on a podcast. But if you're here, we'd like you to be engaged. We'd love you to call in. We'd love you to tweet. We'd love you to get in our chat at YouTube at JT the Brick YT. And we're on the Raiders mobile app as we get going. Quick announcement on the Golden Knights as Vince Sapienza will join us here in a little bit. They have a really big viewing party tonight. Tonight is the grand opening of the Tailgate Beach Club at Mandalay Bay. First ever public event. Doors open at 6, puck drop at 7. You got to be 21 or older. Fans have a chance to enter to win tickets to the next home game. Free giveaways for fans in attendance. The show is programmed to feel like a VGK home game. So if you're looking to go, we got a pretty good viewing party today. And I'm 3 periods away from coming after those Utah fans. How about my Knicks last night? See that, Clay Baker? My Knicks win by 50. I think it was 65-20 at one point in the first half, and I have the tweet of a lifetime. I put out before the game. I don't know if you saw it before the game. I said, I get no enjoyment from these games. It's all anxiety to me, and the Knicks win by 50. 50! It was incredible.
I've never seen anything like it. I rubbed my eyes when I first looked at the second quarter score. It was 46-14 or something. I thought there was an eyelash in my eye. No, it was a blowout.
The 47-point lead at the half was the largest lead ever in the history of the NBA playoffs, dating back to black and white film. That got me going. That was crazy. That was really crazy. And tonight's Morgan Wallen Day in town. My wife and son are going to see Morgan Wallen and Brooks and Dunn. So get your country on, man. One thing good about country music, they drink beer. They have Modelos. They have a good time. Country music fans have fun. And then you bring that to Vegas, and it's like a free country out here. People have a good time. So you got the Golden Knights in Salt Lake. You got Morgan Wallen. You got Fish over at Sphere, I would assume. Fish took over Sphere. And we got a lot going on. The weather's great. We got Vince Sapienza live in Salt Lake, our teammate on Raider Nation Radio and Fox 5. Oh, and I saw a wild Bill Carlson sighting today. Tell me about it, my friend.
William Carlson, the original Misfit, JT, he is back with the team. And when you talk about a boost, when you talk about a jovial group during morning skate, that is as good as we have seen here in the last couple months. Now, unfortunately, it does not sound like he is playing tonight.
Mhm.
But the fact that he is back with the team, has not played since November 8th, just 14 games in the regular season. It's been a long road to rehab for William Karlsson. And so the fact that he's back, smiling, hooking it up with the teams, with the guys, once again was a good sign. And if you're going to prognosticate things, that's a good omen for this team, because I was talking to Jeremy Lazan in the locker room this morning, and he was telling me how he felt all the pressure was not on Utah tonight, despite it being an elimination game for them. He felt the pressure was on his own locker room. And so if that's the feeling, one, that can be turned in a good way.
Mhm.
It's all about perspective. But, having a guy like William Karlsson be back, showing you like, hey, if we can get this done tonight, we get, a real top-tier type player back in our group, and we can really do something. So it's that sense of belief that kind of gets instilled with a player like him back on the ice.
Yeah, no doubt. Vince Sapienza live from Salt Lake, home of the Mammoth, who kind of stabbed us in the back. And I want to get into that here because I am close. I am close to one of the great viral videos you've ever seen of me. And you know my backyard brick. You know when I walk in the park. You saw the almost 3 million views from my Mendoza picture. I am ready to take these fans out. Here's why. They border us. We're in Nevada. They're in Utah. They didn't have a hockey team, so they gravitated to us. Fact. I love that because they're close. This is a team from Arizona that went to Utah. But that owner and someone behind the scenes came up with a stupid promotion to turn in your Golden Knight jerseys and dump them in a laundry bin. Not to burn them. I know that because there's been jerseys burned over the years on viral videos, not here. And I'm sure they were donated. But the fact that these were real fans of ours, Vince Sapienza. They were real fans who had been there for the first cup loss and the cup victory. And they turned our back on us for a little snuffleupagus and that little mammoth, that little woolly mammoth. And we cannot let them get away with that, Vince.
I'm still kind of stunned by it, to be honest with you, because I could not, but when they told me about this promotion and they said, yeah, it's happening the next day, I could not, I said, you're not going to get that many people. They're like, well, we don't.
Ooh, did we lose them?
Lined up along the streets of downtown for this. And so, but here's the other part of all this. When Bill Foley first created the team, he wanted it to be the team of the Rockies, right?
Mm-hmm.
That included Salt Lake City. His own money, and they put out initiatives. They did learn-to-play programs. They did meet and greets with players, with personalities from the Golden Knights franchise. They flew them up here, had them spend time in this city. And so yes, they're Salt Lake, but they were Golden Knights fans. I mean, the Golden Knights spent their time and their money to help cultivate a fan base out here, and these were real fans. JT, I saw Winter Classic jerseys being given up, which are not easy to come by. I saw jerseys with the Stanley Cup patch on them. I saw James Neal autograph jerseys being traded out for Utah Mammoth. So I went up to him. I went up to a handful and I said, "You even feel bad about it?" And the answer was an overwhelming no. And so, to those fans, I know the Golden Knights fans would say, well, good riddance. We didn't want you anyways. But, man, that was quite the promotion, the initiative, whatever you want to call it. And the Delta Center was rocking in Game 3. Game 4, it kind of lightened up a little in terms of, the pizzazz and the loud and all that stuff. But I would expect another raucous crowd here tonight with their season on the line.
Vince Sapienza joins us live for a few more minutes from Salt Lake. So, yesterday I had on, we had Gaucher on, Dave Gaucher, and we talked to Dan Duva last week about what Utah does well. They're younger, they're faster, they're speed. They tried to chippy and get a couple fights going in the first game just to send a message. I'm all for that. I'm a younger team with younger players, do whatever it takes. But, man, if the Golden Knights could have lost the last 2 games, both of them, and this series would have been over, and they found a way to finish. What do they have to do in this game? Now that some guys are waking up, who do you expect to see with fresher legs who could have a good game tonight?
To be honest, I don't know if I can name one person, but I would just say this. When you look at the Golden Knights series, The Golden Knights have won the games where they have wore down the Utah Mammoth, right? Like, the Golden Knights are not going to be able to get in foot races with the Utah Mammoth on a game-in, game-out basis. They're just a faster team. There's nothing wrong with that. You can beat that team. They've done it 3 times. You have to grind them down, and that starts by being physical. And if you're watching the game tonight, if there's a trio to watch that has been true difference makers in terms of the results of this game, it's Vegas' fourth line. Nick Dowd, Cole Smith, and Colton Sissons. Those 3 are not going to light up the scoreboard. They're not going to be getting all the goals and doing all the pretty sellies and all that stuff, but they are doing the grunt work. They are doing the work that is pissing off the other team, pissing off the top players for Utah, and really frustrating them. That's what they've been successful at in the games that they've won, and even in Game 4. Or excuse me, Game 2 that Utah stole in Vegas. They were frustrating them. And that frustration for a young team that have not been through the ups and downs and ebbs and flows of playoff hockey is something. And I also think, somebody who once told me that in playoff hockey, when you beat a team in overtime, it's like delivering a big gut punch, right? Just because there's so much on the line. But to do it twice, back-to-back games, one in their barn, that's soul snatching right there. That's taking their soul. The Golden Knights have to put them in the dirt tonight. They really need to end this because that's, as I said, the pressure feels like it's on them to do so.
And lastly on this, if we take a look at the bracket overall now, as the Avalanche and the Wild have advanced, that'll be a 1-3. It would be the Golden Knights if they win against the Ducks. Well, I didn't give the Ducks a chance last night. I just thought that McJesus and Draisaitl were going to come in and take control because there's no way the Ducks would have won Game 7 in Edmonton. No chance at all. They knew they had to win that game. Really impressive that the 3-seed Ducks are here in the conference semis here. I don't want to get too far ahead of us, but we won't talk to you until the next series begins, either Utah at Ducks or Golden Knights. But rest would amount to something, right? Vegas needs to put this away, get on the plane, get home to their mansions in the ridges on my side of town and relax and enjoy a few days.
Yeah, the Ducks are a good team.
Yeah.
I mean, they can score goals. They can really score goals. Now, defending is another thing if we're going to break down what they do well, what they don't do well. So I think it's a real advantageous matchup for the Golden Knights if they move on, and it is Anaheim. Again, everybody, the buzzsaw that is Colorado would be waiting in the Western Conference Final. But again, that's looking too far down the line. I really like the matchup if it is Vegas and Anaheim for the Golden Knights. And I'm going to stay by my word, what I've told you since the start of the season, JT. This is a Final Four type team in the Vegas Golden Knights. But to get there, they're going to start Game 6 tonight.
Yeah, shout out to your wife that has to be real hockey mom while you're gone. Practices, got to load the sticks and pads as you're out, being a big hotshot sports reporter traveling in Salt Lake. Let's give her a shout out.
You couldn't have said it better. She's doing anything and everything while I'm sitting here having some nice meals watching hockey.
Take care. Safe travels back. Have fun tonight.
Thanks, JT.
Vince Sapienza. Nice. Another guy. Text him. Can you come on? Absolutely. Get Vince on. He does a great job. And Clay, you know this. I don't know how he does it some night because I'm the late night guy. I'm the late night radio guy for 30 years. People still stop you in the streets. How do you do it? How do you work that many hours and at night? It's not hard. It's sports. I'm not digging ditches. I'm not putting out oil fires. But I don't know how sometimes I'm watching the late news on Fox 5.
Yeah.
He's doing a live hit at 11 o'clock, and he's sitting right where I am before 7 a.m., and he don't live next door. He's got to get here. I mean, that's nuts.
And that's not the last one he's going to do that night. And by the time you get home, as you know, anytime you cover a sporting event like that, it takes you a while to calm down, to get to bed. And next thing you know, he's coming back in here on like 2 hours of sleep.
I should write a book write a book. No one buys books anymore. I should do something about how to get to sleep after a radio show ends. When my shows end throughout my career at 10 o'clock or 11, my heart rate is very high. Very high. I pound water before I go to bed, hydrated. You can hear my voice on a Friday. Pound it and try to fall asleep by 1. So if I end at 11, I can't go to sleep at 11:30. My heart's racing. But Vince has to do it too. It is not easy, but he does the good work for us on Raider Nation Radio and Fox 5 covering the Golden Knights. Again, we should have hockey fans on hold to this show. I don't know why we don't. I think it's got a lot of weird reasons on AM radio and hockey stations across the hall. I don't get it. I've been the show of record here. I've been on longer than anybody in this town, I think, either me or Steve Gofield. We've been on roughly around the same. So every show in Vegas should have hockey fans calling into the shows, not mine. Everyone's. We have to treat this city like a hockey city, and we don't. We don't. It's kind of like an event. Our fans, many of them, are very spoiled. We have spoiled fans. We've been to the playoffs 9 times in the first 10 years of this franchise. Imagine if I told you the Raiders moving to Southern Nevada went to the playoffs 6 of their first 7 years. You'd be like, man, that's pretty cool. And it hasn't happened for our football team, but it's happened for the hockey team. So let's get them over the hump. Man, I love the matchup against Anaheim. If you would have told me before the season we'd have to beat the Anaheim Ducks to get to the conference finals, I would have taken that ticket all day long. So that's really cool. I like that. And I'll be watching tonight. For sure, man. I think everybody else should be. Let's get some hockey fans here at 702-365-9200. I was telling Clay when I got in here, so a week ago today's Friday, Mendoza was drafted Thursday of a week ago. We rolled him out on Friday with his family. Beautiful day. I've been on podcast all week talking about it, and he came out today with the 15 on, the red jersey. So he's throwing the ball around today. I'm going to find out a little bit about practice. Obviously, we have some people there behind the walls that are going to tell me before we get out of here. But a lot's changed in this week. A lot has changed in this week. You're going to hear my conversation with Amber Renee Dixon from Nevada Week, PBS. I was on the PBS show of record here this week, and we're going to air that segment. It's about 15 minutes of me talking about the draft and the Mendoza family. That's coming up, hour number 2 of the show. And my Happy Chatter podcast companion. We did a podcast today, Tom Looney, who I talked to. We get him on the radio every couple of months. He's going to join us today from Hollywood as the Lakers were up 3-0. And if they lose tonight, it'll be 3-3, and they could be on the verge of a collapse. Clay Baker, do you believe this will be the first time ever a team up 3-0 might have lost a series? Where my Yankees did it in 2004, it scarred me. It's happened, I think, 4 times in the history of hockey, dating back to black and white film. What would happen to LeBron's legacy if he was the asterisk of the team that collapsed on a 3-0 lead?
It's one of the eventual consequences of going to a franchise like the Lakers,
Yes.
when you have absolute tower pillars of the game in your franchise, and you always have to live up to Wilt, to Kareem, to everybody else,
and Jordan, and Michael Jordan,
and at the same time still fight the Jordan mystique that you can never wear off. So it's like it's a no-win situation. I've never seen a sports world that used to constantly at least back him 50-50, and now it's just like 90-10 against him.
Yeah, what's interesting is I heard on one of the shows today, I don't know if it was First Take or one of the other ones, background noise, my wife calls it. My wife's had the greatest line ever. She just walks by and she goes, "You're the only one who watches this. You're the only person who watches this in the morning." And they were talking about if LeBron chokes at 41 in this series. Remember, Michael Jordan didn't play basketball at 41. Michael Jordan couldn't have this happen to him because he wasn't playing at 41 years old. He was retired, playing golf. So LeBron can't win. He's always losing, even if he's winning. So I'm going to get into that today. If you're a Laker fan who's listening to us on all of our feeds, tell me what's at stake for the Lakers, because Houston hasn't had Kevin Durant. They're not a great team, Houston, but, man, they got momentum. And one thing about the playoffs in hockey and especially the NBA, once a team flips momentum, they get it. Look what Philadelphia is doing to the Celtics, right? You think the Celtics are going to beat Philadelphia. Joel Embiid gets hot. And all of a sudden now we're talking 7-game series, and the Sixers can put down the Celtics. My Knicks, who won by 50, right? They were in a little bit of trouble. They were down 2-1. Nikola Jokic in Denver eliminated by the Minnesota Wolves, the Timberwolves. That's a bit of a shock, but I don't think anybody's good enough to beat SGA and the Oklahoma City Thunder, as they look flat out amazing. Someone really, 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 and I don't like doing this because it was off the record. When someone's on the record, I tell you who they are. That's how this works. When someone's off the record, that means they don't want me to say their name on the show. I have to respect that, but I'll still give you the story because I've never lied once in my life. I've been known to exaggerate, but I've never lied to you, my great audience. Someone really high up in sports media, I'm talking current top 10, radio, television combination, called me yesterday, and we were on the phone for 30 minutes about Diana Rossini and Mike Vrabel. And the brunt of the conversation was about, why is this story still going big? And I had to explain to this guy who's famous, super famous, that, listen, there's a lot to it. And he kind of understood it, but he didn't understand the passion that you have, fans have. So it's a housewife, a mom. Remember I called them the housewives? Yeah, remember me? Remember me with my code? What do you think my code was when I said the housewives? Here's a mom of 2 young boys, allegedly having a relationship outside her marriage with the head coach of the Patriots. Bing, 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 bing. That's big. An NFL insider allegedly having a relationship with a head coach while she's married. If she's divorced or single, no big deal. No one cares. Mike Vrabel, been married as long as me. So I Googled Mike Vrabel because he's tight to some people in the Raider organization, and I won't go near that barbed wire fence. Wink, wink. I won't go near it. But Mike Vrabel has the same exact life of me in the timeline. His kids are the same age as mine, 24 and 22, and he's been married the same amount of years as I have, 26. I thought that was interesting. Like, well, that's a life. I'm not a former football player, but I got a wife the same amount of years and kids the same age. So I was talking to this gentleman about it, and we were getting into the conversation. He says, why does this still have legs? I said it has legs because initially ESPN didn't cover the story. They made fun of the couple that was caught at the Coldplay concert as they were bundled up, and remember they ducked down. That was a big story, and SportsCenter mocked it. And all the morning shows did bits on hiding under the desk and all, but they couldn't cover this story because they're an NFL partner. They're an NFL partner. So now ESPN has Monday Night Football and have all these Saturday games. And so they don't want to ruffle Mr. Kraft because you know what Mr. Kraft's on, Clay Baker? He's on the television competition committee. He's pretty high up. So they avoided that topic. Now the topic won't go away because they lawyered up. Vrabel's trying to keep his marriage. You know, when you've been married that long, and I've had this happen to friends of mine, when you've been married that long, you put into your marriage equal, right? Husband and wife equally put in to the development of the marriage and the kids. But that costs money. So if you're married 25 years, you're going on vacations, you're paying mortgages, you're paying for clothes for the kids, you're paying for college. That comes out of the till. That comes out of what either the husband and wife make with a combination. When the wife leaves after 26 years, she takes half of what's left. Not only the half that she got for the 26 years of marriage, so Mrs. Vrabel could walk away with half of everything Vrabel ever made in his life as a multiple Super Bowl champ and a longtime NFL coach. That's a big number. I don't know what the number is, but it's pretty big. And that's what I said to this gentleman. That's why this story is not going away. Kraft and Vrabel want to move on. They want to move on, and the rest of the media is saying no. But the thing that's repulsed me the most on this topic are all the single guys in their 20s, all the single knuckleheads in their 20s with their hoodies on their TV, radio platforms making fun of the woman. I'm not making fun of Diana Rossini. I don't know her. I think she's probably going through hell on earth right now. Her marriage is probably ruined. Her young boys are old enough to read the internet. This is devastating. But it's a big story, and it's as big as it's ever been today. Because Vrabel showed up at a season ticket holders luncheon and they gave him a standing ovation. And that got Boston radio to go sideways in the last 24 hours. So I wanted to get that into the monologue also. So we got Raiders rookie minicamp with Fernando Mendoza making his first appearance along with the rest of the rookie class. If you'd like to talk more about the draft, I'd love to with you today. Vegas Golden Knights are in Salt Lake. That's a priority for me tonight. The NBA playoffs are really big, really big. And a week from today, a week from Friday, I'll be the MC for the Southern Nevada Sports Hall of Fame at Lee's Family Forum. Mark Davis, the owner of the Raiders, is getting inducted into that great Hall of Fame. Ryan Moore, Tim Gergrich, the whole class is very impressive. We'll tell you. Oh, and if you went to Banana Ball last night, If you saw the Savannah Bananas, Clay, am I right to say that? Is that the Savannah Bananas or is it Banana Ball different?
Yeah, Banana Ball Mania.
Right.
Downtown Summerlin.
Yeah.
Like Don Logan said, there really are 5 semi-trucks out there unloading their equipment.
Yeah, it's right. Walking distance from my casa, and it's packed. Helicopters flying over the ballpark. If you went to that last night, please call and tell me what it was like. That's a big event. It's like another big Vegas event that we had, which was really big. 702-365-9200 as we wait for the people to call in and wake up 26 minutes into the show. Fortunately, Mike in Hawaii is on hold. Mike, thanks for holding up Las Vegas for me and Colin. Aloha.
Hey, you're the ninth island, so I got you back.
Yes, thank you.
I just wanted to say, I'm looking at the Raiders roster right now with all the, draftees and also the UDFAs. And it's going to be an exciting time as we whittle down to the 53 in the months ahead. I see 9 of the 10 draft picks making the roster. And I also think 2 UDFAs. I think that Hemby's going to make the roster. And I also think that the Tokyo Toe is going to make the roster.
Yeah.
So we're going to be around 11. And if you allow me, as we move forward, I just want to focus real quick on the running back room. I think right now we got Genty, Mike Washington, and I'm calling it. I think Tempe's going to make the roster. I think he's extremely underrated, and he has that rapport with Mendoza.
He does.
So I think that's going to go, it's going to be a great running back room this year. Remember you asked the question about a month ago, you said, how are we going to build a team around Mendoza the first year? And I think we are going to be a run-heavy team. And you throw in, what is the other guy we got? We got Connor Hayward. I think that's the 4 we're going to carry there, and I think we're going to have a really good running game, and I think the offensive line is going to surprise some people this year.
Thanks for the call. Appreciate you very much. You're right. The undrafted free agents, the Raiders signed. Undrafted free agents are out. The Tokyo Toe is one of them, the kicker from Hawaii. As he just mentioned, Roman Hemby, the running back from Indiana, seems to be a good fit for Mendoza for a lot of reasons there. And we'll dive into some of these other players. E.J. Williams Jr., a wide receiver from where? Indiana and Mendoza. So there's a couple. The one I heard a lot about that I want to see how good of a player is, we get defensive tackle out of UCLA, Gary Smith III, who I've heard some good things about, and Chase Roberts, the wide receiver out of BYU. Undrafted free agents are important. They make the roster or not, but they make the practice squad, and they help build your team. So one of these 2 players, or 3 or 4 of them, might have an opportunity to shock the world and play their way on this team. We've run out of phone calls. It's amazing. Friday, 12:30 in the afternoon. Jeez, I'm on the radio at 12:30 at night. I got 9 lines full. Let's get this place going. And vacation's coming for me because I can sit in Maui on the beach and not take any calls and be just as good. But I love being on the radio. I'm passionate. I got energy. It's Friday. It could be Tuesday. It could be Sunday, whatever it is. When you hear me, I'm giving 1,000% because I'm excited about what the Raiders have done. 702-365-9200. My podcast partner, Looney, will join us here in a little bit. My conversation with Amber Renee Dixon, she'll join us. My conversation with us is next hour. And we might play a little bit of Mendoza's press conference from a week ago today and how riveting that press conference was and some of my reaction that we had immediately following that. Man, what a difference a week makes. A week ago, I'm on stage with Baron Davis saying, please welcome Fernando Mendoza. Crowd going crazy. Couldn't hear myself. Now we have a week in between, and we know who's on the Raiders, who's undrafted and signed, the rookie class, along with the veterans on the flagship of the Silver and Black. Oh, how we doing, everybody? How we doing? How we doing? Anybody got some good plans for the weekend? I love saying the Tokyo Toe.
The morning tailgate, weekdays at 7 a.m. on Raider Nation Radio 920.
Oh. Gaming is the official and exclusive local casino partner of the Las Vegas Raiders and Allegiant Stadium.
What's your name?
Have some fun, but always bet on black. Anybody know what hat this is? What hat this is? Who wants to guess? Come on, first one to guess. Who's got it?
And you say, that's what the person said. You say Raiders signal?
Come on, Chad. You know who this is.
Oh, that's great. Well, I'm glad to hear from you. Raider Nation Radio, who's this?
My neighbor used to keep his house nice and tidy. He dressed sharp, too. Now, I don't know.
Raiders C Note.
Raiders C Note.
In Emporia, Kansas.
It's a cool nickname, Raiders C Note.
One and only.
That's been coming around. He says he's fine, but I'm worried. Maybe I'm overthinking it. Something just doesn't feel right. I can't keep pretending everything's okay.
There was a person that there's a lot of people got a lot of love for.
Hi, I'd like to file a report.
Matt Patricia was interviewed today by Good Morning Football,
Mm-hmm.
and he had an interesting comment about playing in Indiana.
Okay.
That was this morning. I just saw it right now. If you want me to come back with it.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny. It was good.
0571 or visit Nevada211.org/8.
Patricia's with Ohio State.
This message
Yeah.
is sponsored by Adult Protective Services.
Still, no one knows what that hat symbol is, man. No one knows what that is.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm. My heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I had atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit NoTimeToWait.com. Sponsored by Bristol Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Technology never stands still. And neither does Wessels and IT. For 70 years and counting, we've helped businesses adapt, grow, and stay secure through every change. With experienced people and smart technology solutions, we make work easier, more productive, and more secure. Yesterday, today.
Yeah, Fernando will be signed. It's a big number. It's a big number. He'll be slotted into his massive contract.
Groceries or rent, LendingStore.com's network of lenders makes it quick and easy. In less time than this ad, you can fill out a few fields at LendingStore.com and find out if a lender can get you $500 to $5,000 as early as tomorrow. So visit LendingStore.com today for details. See website for details. LendingStore is not a lender and does not make credit decisions.
Yeah, I love the fact that the Golden Knights, if they win, can get the Ducks. Not that the Ducks are a walkover. It's better than playing the Avalanche. Rather play the Ducks than the Avalanche, and hopefully the Avalanche get a little beat up before that Western Conference Finals. That's a President's Cup winner.
And they get cash back. So get your money sooner and keep more of it with a One Nevada One Checking Rewards account.
We're gonna do Looney at 12:45. Looney at 12:45. Yeah.
Yeah, just send me the number.
Yep.
Federally insured by NCUA.
Welcome back to the JT the Brick Show, brought to you by the Black Hole. Become a member of football's most notorious fans.
I love this guy. I think he was really probably one of the most challenging quarterbacks we faced all year. A guy that can make all the throws on the field. That's what you see first and foremost. Very smart, really good in the pocket. And I just have to say, tough. I mean, straight tough. Caden Curry hit him so hard. The first play of our game, I was like, he goes down, and I was like, okay, all right, here we go. And he got up, and I was like, uh-oh, we got a problem. Just to jump out, I was like, oh, here we go. But unbelievable guy. He actually grabbed me during the combine. We talked for a little while, and just so impressed by him. I know for a fact he's been working really hard, getting ready for his moments. He's been studying tape. He's been trying to figure out, defenses and scheme, and just taking a look at what the NFL defense looks like compared to college defenses. And I'm excited. I think that's a great pick for the Raiders, and we'll see what he does.
That's Matt Patricia. That's a pretty good soundbite there of how good Fernando Mendoza is when he played in college. Now he's an NFL quarterback, and we're waiting to see how the Raiders bring him along. And I can promise you this, that no one that you're listening to or no one that's calling us or tweeting has any clue. No one. No one knows. Clint Kubiak might have the ability to, he won't tell us, but he'll have the ability to know who's going to play, if it's going to be Kirk Cousins or Mendoza. But don't wait for some NFL insider or for some housewife to tell you 2 months from now, I believe that Mendoza has the edge, or I believe blank has the edge. No one knows. They're going to keep this thing really tucked close to the vest until they have to make an announcement for a number of different reasons. I would think that Kirk Cousins would have a big advantage, not a small advantage, because he knows this playbook inside and out, and he knows it better than Mendoza. But Mendoza has gotten off to a pretty quick start because he's had this playbook, similarities to it through Brian Greasy, who he's been working out with to try to get ready. And that would be working out under center, the ability to be under center and learn that way. I'm just shocked that more and more quarterbacks need to learn what it's like to play under center, Clay. I mean, really, you've been playing quarterback since Pop Warner, and now all of a sudden we got to teach you how to spread your feet out and go under center. I mean, it seems like that's a really big thing now going on in the NFL.
Well, especially, it's funny how in college quarterbacks are being told what to do by coaches who need to win. They need to win games. They find that if they can get an extra half second to a second on pressure to the quarterback, they're going to go shotgun. But even every quarterback that knows and plays the game sees what happens on Sunday, and everyone's under center. So even if they're not doing it in practice in the games, they know in the back of their mind, in order to get to the next level, they have to do that. And I would have to think some of them are brought along with a little bit of both strategy and understanding of how to do both. But if you want to go and play on Sunday, that's where it's got to be.
Yeah, I guess it is. You gotta learn the basics again and get back to it. And that's what these rookie mini camps are all about, and making Fernando Mendoza comfortable. Make him comfortable so he can jump in there and hit the ground running. Raider C-Note from Kansas. We've heard from Hawaii and Kansas today. Not a peep out of Vegas. I got to take a shot at Vegas every day when I don't hear from you. Raider C-Note. That's a cool name. How'd you get that name?
That's just a name I had from when I was young. I used to call your show all the time, JT. Post game in Oakland, I had season tickets for 17 years in Oakland, so I was there and seen all the magical times we had. Some of the tough losses that we had against Baltimore in the AFC Championship. When we beat Tennessee to go to the Super Bowl, I was there. I just wanted to chime in on the draft. I'm so fired up about Mendoza. Me being a East Bay guy, I'm a Cal Bear fan first and foremost. So I watched Fernando throughout his whole college career. I watched all college games, and when he left, I ain't gonna lie, I was a little bit hurt. It stung me a little bit because I was like, we got a good quarterback, and then he was gone, and so I was a little bit snake bitten by that. But over the course of the year, watching him play, I was like, I just can't be mad at this guy. He's just a guy, And Cal it worked out good for Cal. We got Sagapua Tele. He's doing his thing. Freshman year had a good year. But our draft with Stoops and Johnson, the pairing from Arizona, great idea. These guys know each other. They know how to play, and they know how to feed off each other. Fernando, I don't even have to say nothing about it. That's wonderful. A game changer. But listen, JT, I've been listening to your show forever. I'm gonna bring the energy like you
Good
want.
Man.
And I may be in Kansas right now, but I go to work every day out here with Raider jerseys on and let these Kansas City people know what time it is.
Sounds good. I appreciate you. I appreciate everybody who calls in. I try to wrestle the leaves and the branches to tell more people they should call in. Not for me. I'll talk for 19 hours without a commercial. I just want to hear from fans. I want to hear what fans are thinking. The only way we know is if you pick up the phone and tell us what you're thinking. That's why we're doing this. We're not doing it out of necessity. We want to hear what other people are thinking. I don't want to hear me for 2 hours every day. I'm sure you don't either. We want to have guests. We want to have music. We want to interact. We want to go fast. And the fans of the Raider Nation are everywhere. I really appreciate that. 702-365-9200. So today, there's a big weekend in sports. The Kentucky Derby is on Saturday. What I typically do throughout my time living here in Vegas, I've lived here a long time, I'll go to a casino to watch that. and I don't bet. I won't bet on the race, but I'll go there for the 2 minutes of energy. Red Rock is close to my house, and the other casino, Durango, is very close to my house too. Plus, we have casino partners here that we recommend. But what I would do if you want to go is go to a casino and park. And if you're a local, you might get 3 hours for free. And go in there about a half hour before the race, get a beverage, and watch the energy build. Because, Clay, you've done it over at the Westgate. Mm-hmm. I have. It's sitting at home watching the Derby with nobody is not good. It's sitting in a casino or standing in the back of a casino when the horses open it up, as I open up the show out of the gate. What they're doing there is they're getting the energy of that 2 minutes, the fastest 2 minutes in sports, and it always delivers.
Oh, and the energy begins in the morning. By the time it comes close to the race, the atmosphere has got this electricity about it. There's an unspoken energy that can't be beat by anywhere. And if you're just sitting at home, that's like watching a movie with no music or sound effects. Don't do that to yourself. It's a slight time of afternoon and a Saturday. Make sure you go and do that around 3 o'clock tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm starting to go back to the movies. I am. I've watched a lot of movies the last 4 or 5 years streaming. I'm starting to go back to the movie theater for that experience, man. But this is a good casino experience. Stevie G in Oakland, Oaktown. What's happening?
What is happening, JT? Hey, man, it was a good draft. It was a good night. I really like the organization, the way it's just growing. I like the way Spytech is empowering his people. Like seeing both Brandons up there after, on the third day and then talking through how everything went, I think was fantastic. I think clearly it shows that they've got a good plan. Obviously, their choices coach, the synergy between the GM and the head coach, and the fact that they've got a plan for our number one choice. There's a plan in place, and there's a backup to the plan necessarily in the sense that they've got the experienced quarterback in Cousins. I like the fact that he's going to have to compete to win the job, Fernando. If that's what he wants, he's got to put in the work because Cousins isn't going to say, hey, sure, I'll just help you become the guy. He's like, no, I came to play.
Right.
So you're going to have to beat me out. I'll help you, but you're going to have to beat me out just like Fernando wants to beat him out. And we'll see what happens. And that competition, I think, is good from the top down. And I'm glad we have it at that QB position moving forward. Right. And the support of Kubiak with the QB coach and his staff there, especially the O-line coach, I think just sets the table long-term for what the Raiders are trying to do. I love the way that that's going. And I think it shows that, Mark Davis might have started out slow, if that's what you want to call it. Mm-hmm. I mean, you don't know that you're an owner until you start becoming the owner. And that started, obviously, unfortunately, when Al Davis passed away. But you can see that he's grown, too. And what he was looking for, he's had in spurts and stops. And it's not always his fault because of the spurts and stops. It's like 2-3 years forward and 1 year back for whatever reason. McKenzie had his run, got a little better, then things went backwards. No one could anticipate what happened with Gruden because we were growing at that point, and then again backwards. Now we're moving forward, and it looks like it's in place for long term with Brady as part of that triumvirate. And I'm looking forward to us growing this off season as now training camp with the rookies. We'll see how it goes heading into the full training camp, and they'll just grow and they'll see what we do.
Yep, great to go, Stevie G. Thank you. Yeah, they got to get it right. I'll sum up your phone call, and I really appreciate you. A lot of stories about Gruden, Reggie McKenzie, Dave Ziegler. I saw the other day. He met the media with the Titans, right? Josh McDaniels, Pete Carroll, Mike Mayock, Tom Telesco. Mark's tried to put people in place to win here. It has to be right this time. It has to be. Let's hydrate for a minute, please. Let's hydrate.
From Raider Nation Radio, and if you're looking for the perfect way to thank your teacher this week, Raising Cane's, they got you covered. Visit your local Cane's to grab a gift card or purchase
Flamingos.
This is my Tottenham Hotspur hat, my soccer team, my Premier League team. It's been on the verge of relegation.
Truck U.
You don't have to curse at me.
Dude, you should check out Truck U CDL training. My brother got
Hey,
his
Looney,
CDL
it's Clay with
license 4
JT.
weeks
How's it going,
now
man?
he has a new career making great money.
Okay.
All right, if this is a good time, I'll put you on
offers
hold and
small
go right to
classes
you.
with night and weekend times available.
Thank
He
you,
will
Sam.
even help with payment programs. Check them out. Truck, the letter U, LV.com. Truck U.
Welcome back to the JT the Brick Show, brought to you by Modelo Especial, the new #1 beer in the U.S.
Yeah, not only did I play in 3 different conferences, all 4 years of college, we've had a new system. I think it's been a great opportunity to learn every single year, rather than find myself comfortable. Evidently, every quarterback and every coach wants to be in a system for a long time so they can grow in the system. But that change, whether it's conference systems, it gave me an opportunity to learn, grow, and establish a process on how to learn new systems.
Fernando Mendoza. Earlier today, I hosted the award-winning JT and Looney podcast with my happy chatter companion, Tom Looney. And Tom, you seem very fascinated about my new friendship with Fernando Mendoza. He actually knows me by name.
Famous people know you by name. You know one of us will ever get over it.
I am excited, man. He seems like, as Tim McCarver would say, a fine young man. He's a fine young man.
He's got that charisma that we've seen over the years. Tebow had it, and I hope Raider doesn't think I'm going to jinx anything by making the comparison, because I think he'll be a far better pro. But, there's certain guys that have that charisma. When they Jameis Winston, when they walk in the room and sit down, no matter what your previous opinion was, you like them after you meet them.
That's a great point about Jameis Winston. When he won the Heisman, like Fernando, top pick, and a lot of people thought he was about crab legs and stealing stuff. No, he's a great kid. He's been nothing but a great player in this league, but the ceiling has to be much higher for Fernando than Jameis. You would admit to that out here in Vegas?
Well, I hated making both of those analogies because of their pro career wasn't what their college career was. But I made the analogies because they were people that we've met over the years that we were blown away by their presence.
Tom Looney joins me, the great broadcaster in Los Angeles, news anchor, and diehard Laker fan. So I see my son who's in the chat here. My son, whose first words out of his mouth were not mom and dad, it was Kobe. My son loved Kobe Bryant. And that's because he was around my house. That's all you heard in my house when my son was born was Kobe, Kobe, Kobe. There's no way the Lakers choke this, right? They'd be the only team to go from 3-0 to lose the series. And that Houston team, 0-0, they're pretty good. Imagine if Kevin Durant wasn't a head case and he was available to play every night. Are the Lakers in trouble? What are you hearing on the ground in Los Angeles?
Well, I love that comment. Imagine if Kevin Durant wasn't a head case. It's like imagining if he wasn't tall. But of course, as you mentioned in your award-winning tweets, you get nervous whenever the Knicks play. It's not always fun. Although it's great to be nervous for your team and have a team that you're nervous for. But of course, I'm worried in the back of my head about losing the series. But history is on my side, the math is on my side, and LeBron is on my side.
Yeah, LeBron's pretty special, 41 years old, throwing alley-oops to his son. Michael Jordan never had to worry about that because his son was getting in trouble and getting fired from jobs as Bronny's playing in the NBA. But this was interesting as we podcast this earlier today, that everybody looks at the flaws of LeBron like the wart on Lincoln's face. They always try to find something negative about LeBron. And the new thing now that's trending is, well, Michael Jordan never would have lost a 3-0 lead. True, he's never lost a 3-0 lead. But there were years when Michael Jordan did make it to the NBA Finals, when LeBron made it to the Finals but lost.
Yeah, LeBron waltzed out of high school straight into the NBA, as we talked about in our award-winning podcast today. And that's not breaking news, but it is one of those things that Michael Jordan didn't do. He's done so many things that Michael Jordan couldn't do, including how many times he'd gone to the NBA Finals, including
Yeah, that's a really good point. Tom Looney's our guest as we wrap it up. Hey, one last thing. I think people who download our latest edition of the JT and Looney podcast would be amazed at how fascinated I still am in LA politics, even though I don't live in the valley anymore, Sherman Oaks. But if I was living in LA proper and could vote, I would vote for reality star Spencer Pratt, who had a reality show because his house burned down during the fires, and he seems really highly motivated to do something else compared to other politicians who have been around, and there's been problems on their watch. Does my guy Spencer Pratt have a chance to become the mayor of Hollywood, Los Angeles?
I love that we're talking about LA, and I always defend it and say it's not full of chaos as the siren goes by. Well, I've always said this, whether the mayor was Rick Caruso, a local businessman who ran against Mayor Bass, no matter who the mayor was, I wouldn't blame a mayor for a fire. And I don't blame our mayor for the fire. Now, really bad luck that she's out of the country when the fire started. If that is a public relations disaster, she may not get over it. A former emergency room nurse, a real politician who knows how bills are passed and stuff, unlike guys from television. So I would rather stick with somebody who knows the halls of the city and how politics work than a reality star with a commercial.
Have a great weekend. What do you got planned for the weekend other than 7 workouts as you're a bodybuilder and eating lean? Are you still counting your calories in May, or are you pool ready already and don't have to worry about that?
Oh, I'm the intermittent fast champion of the. I don't eat between 10 p.m. and 2 p.m. 10 p.m. at night, 2 in the afternoon. However, I do have a ribeye or a fillet or some kind of steak, T-bone, every single night at 9 o'clock. And sometimes I'll sneak a glass of wine or 2 or 3 in with my red meat.
I'll talk to you over the weekend. Be well, my friend. There he is, Tom Looney on the JT and Looney podcast. Yeah, we do that. We're longtime friends. We worked together for 14 years, and we keep this podcast going because it's our way to stay friends. We're going to be friends for life, but we get a chance to talk and catch up on stuff. I think you'll like it. It's JT and Looney, wherever you get your podcast. Please subscribe for free. I have 1 more hour before I'm going home for the weekend and having a bucket of Modelo's in my backyard. Let's make it a great hour. Lines are open at 702-365-9200. I've been shut out for 60 minutes. I did not get one Vegas Golden Knight call. Shocking. They're playing tonight in a game 6. That could get them on the case to win the Stanley Cup eventually. Hockey fans, if you're there's a big viewing party tonight at Mandalay Bay as they open up a really cool new feature to that property. Go check it out. When we come back a little bit later on, my conversation with Amber Renee Dixon on Nevada Weekly. I was her guest this week, and we talked about the draft. And it was a lot of fun because Amber knows sports. She knows Vegas. She brought me in to talk about Fernando and the coaches and everything else. So I think you'll enjoy that coming up here in a little bit. And then more on the NBA and what we'll be hitting on with the games tonight. I mean, tonight's fun. To have the Lakers and the Golden Knights on, woo! There's a lot of pressure tonight. That's why sports athletes, these guys make millions of dollars because when they get to the playoffs, there's much pressure. The pressure amplifies, and we're going to see that tonight.
To Johnson, obviously McCoy.
All right, I'll try to eat out.
Those guys have a knack for creating turnovers. Man, I appreciate that. I've been on my soapbox about turnovers. You gotta.
Did we find some of that Fernando?
They have that skill set.
What's that?
That Fernando presser I was looking at from a week ago.
Yeah.
Unnecessary roughness with your boy Q, weekdays at 2.
Plumbers, HVAC techs, contractors, and DIYers. McFadden Industrial Hardware has the tools, parts, and supplies to power your next project. Open early and stocked with everything you need. Stop by South Decatur near Russell. McFadden Industrial Hardware, fast, easy, and built for the pros.
One moment can turn life upside down. Your comeback starts with the right team by your side. At DeCastro Law, we spent decades helping injured Nevadans.
Yeah, in its entirety, it's 17 minutes.
Yeah, maybe we'll play 10 of it.
We're the
Yeah, we'll set that one up before we play that Amber segment.
Okay.
At DeCastro Bertie Law, the brothers have your back. BrothersWin.com.
When you're planning your next job, options matter. Now in stock at Lowe's, get the roofing brands you trust, including GAF, Owens Corning, and CertainTeed, with more colors to choose from. Plus, fence block products, including tan color, are in stock and ready to go. And when you're on the clock, we help keep you on schedule. Order by 4 p.m. and get next day job site delivery on select items as early as 6:30 a.m. Improving is easy at Lowe's. Delivery Monday through Saturday in select Las Vegas zip codes.
All right, let's get in the chat for a minute. Let's see if we got anything here. Rookie numbers have been posted. Back in 1997, the ticket 1050. Yes, thank you.
Be a winner. Join me at betmoneyhoney.com. That's betmoneyhoney.com.
Hey, Chuck, tell the people in Las Vegas why DLC is amazing.
For 28 years, we've had one simple, transparent signature loan for up to $5,000 that we process in less than an hour. We lend cash at our local locations or electronic instant funding at eastbrook.com. It's always free.
Please hit like and subscribe if you can. I'd appreciate that. Please hit the like button. We see a lot of people in here, but not a lot of likes. Please click that like. It makes a difference.
Charge less and allow the customers longer to pay the money back. At Dollar Loan Center, we love to say yes. Oh yeah, new customers get their first week's interest free, and the daily interest rate on a $500 loan is just $2.75. You can do the math from there.
Well put, Chuck. That was a lot. You can find everything at don'tbebroke.com.
Since 2014, Paul Betta Law has proudly called Las Vegas and the surrounding area home. Over the years,
Sometimes I like to relax during the commercial breaks. Relax.
Legal Aid Center of Southern Nevada.
Check the heart rate here.
High School. Davies Bounty.
The Secret Santa Project.
And many more.
Hi, this is Paul Pata from Paul Pata Law, where compassion and
Let's
strong
find it.
legal representation come together. Remember, it's not about the injury, it's about the recovery. To learn more, go to paulpatalaw.com.
Raider Nation, hey, you. Are you following us on social media? Well,
Pretty good.
At RNR 920 AM on Twitter.
Pretty good, right? Current heart rate 78. Nice.
You can subscribe to our brand new YouTube page at Raider Nation Radio 920 AM. All the content.
There's some boxing in town this weekend, but I will not be attending now. Not really interested in this fight, man. I've seen so many great fights, I can't even count, man. And I'll go to the big ones if I'm still invited to go.
The morning tailgate, weekdays 7 to 10. Raider Nation Radio 920 AM, KRLV, Las Vegas.
So, guys, and gals, I'm gonna go off here for about 10 minutes, and then we're gonna replay some of the Mendoza press conference. And when we do that, I'll sign out of here. So, thanks for the week. Appreciate everybody. Thank you, and everybody have a good weekend.
It's nothing that we say, it's what we do on the field. All the little things that win that have nothing to do with ski.
And now, here's JT the Brick.
Final hour of the week brought to you by the DeCastro Bertie Law Group. If you get into an injury, accident, the brothers win. And they do a lot of things, immigration law. They'll help you out with any legal issue you have. It's the DeCastro Bertie Law Group, Brothers Win, brotherswin.com. We thank them for their partnership. We thank our partners every Friday because we thank them every day, but Friday before we head into the weekend. Next week's a pretty big week for us here. I'll be the MC a week from tonight for the Southern Nevada Sports Hall of Fame. Mark Davis will join us next week, the owner of the Raiders, on his impact on Southern Nevada. How is Mark Davis getting into a Hall of Fame in Vegas? Because Mark Davis brought the Raiders here, and the economic impact is booming. And I know people want to see wins. I get that, but Mark's had a big impact here on Southern Nevada. Not many people, and I know because I'm in the inner circle, how many checks he's written that you don't know about, that Mark Davis has written to help everybody out along the way. It could be Opportunity Village. It could be the Bolitnikoff Foundation. whatever the charity, Boys and Girls Club, all of that. Mark has been really unique in his passion to help other people here in this town. Speaking of Opportunity Village, I just forgot this, but I wanted to say this. My wife did something today that was pretty cool. She set up an appointment with Opportunity Village, and they help out those with special needs and try to get young people into their system so they can give them a skill set. It's an incredible, an amazing group, Opportunity Village. Please Google them. So they came to the house today with a giant moving truck, a giant rider truck. And we got rid of a lot of stuff that we've had in our home for 25 years, like a media cabinet, an old computer desk, all this. And we made a donation, but they come and pick it up. And we were able to have a nice morning. And they unloaded stuff that we've had in our house since we were married 25 years ago and living in Sherman Oaks. And it was refreshing watching these gentlemen come into my home and remove all of these things that we did not want anymore, but were possessions of ours for a quarter century, donate it so other people can have it. And I think everybody should do that. If you're looking to do that, if you want to, I would say just kind of bring your home down a bit, and maybe you're updating your home. Maybe you're getting new furniture. You're getting new things in life. Don't throw the old stuff out. Donate it to Opportunity Village. That was very rewarding today to meet the young men who came to my house and talk to them about what they're doing. Just wanted to get that in. All right, this is the final call. The Ducks eliminating the Oilers, which was a really big storyline last night. They got off to a great start in the game. This could be the end of Connor McDavid in Edmonton.
Shut down this pipeline. There's no oil moving into the second round. The Anaheim Ducks have defeated the two-time Western Conference champion Edmonton Oilers 4-2. 5-2 your final in Game 6.
That's incredible here that they're able to do that. That's really cool on Oilers radio, because that's potentially, and look, the Golden Knights could lose to Utah. They could lose to Anaheim. But the probability of them losing to Edmonton is much higher, along with Colorado. So if we can get Colorado to lose to Minnesota after Edmonton's been eliminated, I think it makes a little bit of an easier road to the Cup. But Vegas has got to get by the woolly mammoth and get by them tonight. Really important. Jalen Brunson and the alley-oop against Atlanta. This is one of the more remarkable playoff games last night ever played in the history of the NBA, as the Knicks won by 50. They were up by 50 for most of the game. They blew out Atlanta.
Brunson with the rebound. He's off to the races. Alley-oop for Bridges, and he throws it down. Mikal Bridges with 16 points in 15 minutes.
Yeah, that's great. The Knicks look fantastic. I'm not saying they're the best team in basketball, but last night for about 15 minutes, they were the best team in basketball. They couldn't miss. They were incredible. And I want you to hear what LeBron James had to say. He was testy with a couple of reporters because the Rockets are coming back in the series and the pressure might be getting to the King.
He feels like obviously the Rockets are the better team. What's the best way to respond to a group that obviously had some confidence growing over there?
I don't care about it like that, bro. The game is only between the four lines. I don't give a damn. Who cares? Of course you say, why would you say we're not the better team? Like, ask one of them young guys that question. I'm too old for that.
Yeah, LeBron, they'll testy. Clay, I don't think he's going to lose. I can't imagine the Lakers blowing a 3-0 lead. Can you?
No, I think they got coaching to ensure that. But this is it's funny. I never thought they'd have their backs against the wall against the Rockets.
You would admit that you fire J.J. Redick if he's the first coach ever to lose this. You have to. You have to fire J.J. Redick.
Now they keep flushing guys in and out. I don't know about that. This guy's a pretty good coach.
But he'd be the only coach ever to lose a 3-0 lead. I mean, that is beyond an asterisk if he chokes this.
Yeah, I think I would. Would you blame it on personnel? Could you go that far?
I wouldn't. But look, Luka Doncic is hurt, as you said. So not having Luka, I think that's something to bring up. Open line 702-365-9200 as we continue. So we thought today, as we have a couple more conversations coming up on Friday, brought to you by Modelo, the fighting spirit of Modelo. A week ago today, Fernando Mendoza met the media. I was there in the room, along with his mom, his dad, his brothers, the Raiders coaching staff, Ashton Genty, a few other players who were there. It was pretty remarkable when he walked through the side of the team room and came to meet the media. Just let's play a little bit of last week when we were introduced to Fernando.
I'd like to welcome everyone to this afternoon's press conference. At the dais, we have the number 1 overall draft pick, Fernando Mendoza, General Manager John Spytek, and Head Coach Clint Kubiak. We'll begin with some opening remarks from Mr. Spytek, and then we'll open it up for questions.
Okay. Want to thank everybody for coming this afternoon to an exciting day for the Raiders organization and the Las Vegas community. The long mystery has finally been solved. We got our guy here. And just want to thank everybody that was a part of this process in this building to arrive to this selection of Fernando